Hi, in this video I'll help you get to know your car a little better. At the end of this video I've put together a straightforward infographic that summarizes all the key points. Like, subscribe and comment below. It really helps.
All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're putting on our detective hats to solve a really common automotive mystery, that pesky Dodge error code, P0207.
So there it is, right? That check engine light just glaring at you from the dashboard. I know it's stressful, but that light isn't just there to annoy you. It's trying to tell you something. And if your scanner is spitting out a P0207 code, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're going to get this figured out.
Think of this whole thing like a crime scene investigation. We've got our first clue, the code. So here's our game plan. First, we'll decode that clue. Then we'll line up the usual suspects. After that, we dive into the investigation, find the right fix, and finally, we'll close the case. Simple as that. Let's get to it.
Okay, step one of any good investigation, you got to understand the evidence. So let's decode what this P0207 clue is really telling us.
So what's the deal with P0207? It literally translates to fuel injector 7 circuit/open. And you know what? That's actually great news because it's super specific. This isn't some vague, hey, something's wrong with the engine kind of code. No, it's pointing us to a very specific spot.
Let's break that down. Your vehicle's brain, the powertrain control module, or PCM, is constantly monitoring everything. In this case, it tried to tell fuel injector number 7 to do its job, and it noticed something was wrong with the electrical signal. It means the circuit is either totally broken, kind of like a cut wire, or it has high resistance. Think of it like a clogged pipe that electricity is struggling to get through.
Okay, now that we know what the clue means, it's time to do what every good detective does next. We're going to line up all the potential culprits.
And here they are, the usual suspects. The problem could be the injector itself. It could be something simple like a bad wire or connector. It might be an issue with something called the ASD relay circuit, a short to ground, or, and this is the least likely of all, it could be the PCM, the car's brain that's gone bad. We're going to investigate these in a very specific order, from most likely to least.
All right, now for the main event, the diagnostic investigation. This is where we get to work. We're not going to just guess and throw parts at the problem. Nope. We're going to be smart about it and test each suspect one by one. Think of this as our investigation roadmap. For each suspect, there's a specific action we need to take. We're going to follow this step by step, and trust me, starting with the simplest checks first is going to save you a ton of time, money, and headaches.
First up, suspect number 1, and honestly the most common culprit, bad wiring or connectors. I mean, think about it. Years of vibrations, heat, and moisture, it all takes a toll. This is absolutely the first place you should always look.
So what do? It's simple, really. Pop the hood, find fuel injector number 7, and just use your eyes. Take a close look at the electrical connector. Give it a little wiggle. Is it loose? Are the pins inside all green and corroded? Then trace that wire back as far as you can. You're looking for anything that looks wrong. Breaks, melted spots, anything. All right, let's say the wiring looks perfect. What's next? We move on to suspect number 2, the fused ASD relay output circuit. The ASD, or auto shutdown relay, is basically a master switch that powers up really important things like the fuel pump and, you guessed it, the fuel injectors. If there's a problem here, you're going to get a code. Okay, for this one, you are going to need a tool, a multimeter. Find the ASD relay, it's usually in the fuse box, onto the hood. You're going to perform what's called a voltage drop test. All that really means is you're checking to see if the electrical pipes are clear and that full power is getting where it needs to go. So what if that checks out too? Well, our next suspect is a short to ground. Now, what is that? In simple terms, it just means the electricity is taking a shortcut it's not supposed to. Instead of going through the injector, it's leaking out to the metal frame of the engine, which means the injector can't work right. And guess what? This brings us right back to another simple visual check. Bad grounds cause all sorts of weird electrical gremlins in cars. So you need to find where this circuit is grounded to the engine or chassis. A service manual is your friend here, and just make sure that connection is clean, tight, and not rusted out.
So what happens when you've checked all the wiring, all the circuits, and everything seems okay? Well, that's when our investigation starts pointing a finger directly at a faulty part. So let's talk about the final fixes.
Look, if you've done your homework, you've checked the wiring, you've tested the ASD circuit, you've cleaned the grounds, if you've ruled out all those other suspects, then the evidence is overwhelming. The culprit is almost certainly a bad fuel injector.
At that point, the solution is pretty clear. It's time to replace fuel injector number 7.
Now, we have to talk about our last, and I mean least likely suspect, the PCM itself. If you have ruled out every single other possibility, then it's possible the car's brain is the problem. But I have to stress this. This is your absolute last resort. Replacing a PCM is expensive, and it usually has to be programmed by a dealer. You do not want to jump to this conclusion. And just like that, we've gone from a mysterious check engine light to a final solution. So let's close this case with a quick recap of the most important things to remember from our investigation.
Here's what I really want you to take away from this. 1. P0207 means a circuit problem with fuel injector 7. 2. Please always start with the simple stuff. Check the wiring and the grounds first. 3. A logical, step-by-step diagnosis is the only way to avoid wasting money on parts you don't need. And finally, fixing this isn't just about turning off a light. It's about making sure your ride is safe and performs the way it's supposed to.
So there you have it. You've got the roadmap. You know the suspects and you know the procedure. The mystery isn't so mysterious anymore, is it? Now there's only one question left. Armed with all this info, which suspect are you going to investigate first?